Since the beginning of the year, we have been hearing about so many different types of warriors like Corona warriors, SSR warriors. But how many of you feel that you're a weight warrior? At least for me, I have been a weight warrior for at least 2 decades of my life. And if you are also a weight warrior like me, then I think you will identify with this video and probably get some insights from my struggle, from my journey, from my weight loss journey of 25 kilos. My struggle started quite early. I was born a thin baby, but by high school, I was already obese. I was around 80 kilos. Because of all the pressure of the competitive exams, there was no time to exercise, no mind space to exercise, and I was eating quite a lot because of all the stress. Then in 2011, when I was just completing my MBA again because of the stress and crunch of time, I had put on weight, so I was 87 kilos by the time I joined my first job. So I was already obese. And 2014, I started participating in marathons, and I participated in a stepathlon competition in my company. So because of that, because I was doing close to 30,000 steps every day and a lot of running, I was able to lose weight and I was able to come to 75 kilos. And that was a big achievement for me. I felt very proud of myself. Then when I came to France, I was able to lose furthermore. So I was able to achieve 68 kilos and I felt quite good, very proud of myself. I was able to wear all the kind of clothes that I wanted to wear since childhood, because before that it was all tailor-made for me and I could not buy anything off the shelf. And good to go. But this imposter syndrome was always there in me, that I don't belong to this weight, that somewhere in 75, 74 I was more comfortable, that this is what the maximum that I could have achieved, and 68 felt like too good to be true. My fear became real in 2018 when I became pregnant, and I started putting on weight quite fast because I was too much into running, and I used to run at least 5 days a week. And in the week, on the weekdays, I would be running around 8 kilometers in a day, and on weekends I would be running 15 kilometers because I used to train for marathon, semi-marathons. So that was my schedule, and because of pregnancy, I could not continue that schedule. Hence, I was putting on weight quite fast, and that was when this thing came in my mind, that probably the way my weight was increasing, that I would never be able to go back to my pre-pregnancy weight. So during pregnancy, my weight increased from 68 kilos to 85 kilos, and after delivery it was 78 kilos. And those 78 kilos were the hardest because they were just not ready to budge. And also because I had been used to, because I was breastfeeding, so I was made to eat so many different kind of things and so many rich food, that it was very difficult to lose weight. And also because I had gotten used to eating good food, a lot of food, and obviously there was no time to exercise. Like I wouldn't say no time, but no mind space and no willingness to exercise, because you were so sloshed all the time that the time that you have, you just want to, which doesn't exist, but whatever 2 or 3 minutes that you would have, you just want to take a nap or sit back, relax, and do nothing. So those 78 kilos were a struggle. The first thing that I did was to track my calories, because I had this notion that I'm eating quite less. So why is it that when I'm eating quite less and I'm breastfeeding, so I should be losing weight, but rather than it's just not moving anywhere? So I tracked my calories and I realized that I'm taking quite a lot of calories, much more than my recommended levels of calories that I should be taking. And to reduce weight, I will have to restrict my calories. So I restricted it to 1200 calories per day, after doing some research that how many calories would you be needing as a breastfeeding mom. The second thing would obviously be exercise. Exercise not so much for losing weight, but for toning your body and for making sure that your love handles do not exist. Also, it was very difficult as a new mom to exercise, to find time for exercise, and because I was also working, so during the day I had no time, and when I came back, it was all the time for my daughter. So what I did was that after having dinner and after feeding my daughter and putting her to bed, I would then start exercising at 10 p.m. and I would not miss that for anything. Like, I made it a promise to myself that I will be exercising no matter what time it is. Third thing that I discovered during the process, in the beginning, like, I didn't start doing it, I didn't start my journey doing this, but I discovered it during the process, was intermittent fasting. And it's quite hilarious the way I discovered intermittent fasting, because I'm quite of a breakfast person and I can't miss breakfast for anything. I really love my breakfast. So when my friend suggested that I should be eating more oats, more healthy breakfast like fruits, I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. For me, breakfast has to be something interesting like my parathas, my croissant, and if I can't eat those, then let me just not eat the breakfast. And then at the same time I was reading about intermittent fasting, and there are so many different types of intermittent fasting, like 20 hours fasting and 4 hours of eating, but or one entire day you are fasting and the next day you are eating. But I chose the 16/8 because as a beginner that was the easiest for me, and that was something that I thought I can at least give it a try, because understand this fact that I have been a breakfast eater and I have never fasted in my life, so it just the thought of fasting was giving me jitters. So I thought, let me just try with 16/8, and I started with 14/10. So I didn't immediately jump into 16/8. I started with 14/10, and then it was 16, and then I extended it to, sometimes it used to go up till 18 hours. The fourth very important thing was setting small goals, because like, if you start with this goal of reducing, like you want to reduce 20 kilos and 25 kilos, it's very daunting. So I think it's much easier to give up, because when you're seeing that you're losing only 1 kilo or 2 kilos, then the sustained effort does not last. But when you set yourself goals, like what I had done for myself was that every month I'll be losing 3 kilos. And initially when I topped that, like in the first month when I lost 4, when I lost 5 kilos, I was quite ecstatic and I was really committed. I became much more committed to this journey of mine. So I think it's very important to set up small goals and to let the mind know that for now we are just focusing on this, and the rest we'll take care later. Lastly, I would say tracking your progress, because that's very important. I was tracking my weight every day. I am not saying that I want you to be weight obsessed, but just knowing how your body reacts to different kind of food and different kind of activities was important for me, and hence I was tracking it every day. It's very difficult to maintain your sanity with that. I wouldn't lie, because some days when it would just not reduce, I would get so disheartened. But then again, I had promised to myself that I would give few months of time to myself before completely giving up on this journey. So tracking your weight was important, and taking photographs of your journey, because initially when I started, I took some photos, and then after 3 weeks of my journey, when I again saw my photos, compared it to the starting level, I could see so much of difference that it really motivated me to go further. And then 1 month later and 2 months later, when I was seeing such drastic difference, so weight is definitely a motivator, but when you look at yourself and how your body is changing, that's again a great feeling. Tracking your inches would also be important, because many times your weight would not just move, and then at those times when you see that your inches are moving and you're moving in the right direction, it gives you hope and you still continue. So so tracking these 3 things: your weight, keeping a log of your photos, and your inches, is very important. So I shared the process with you, but what did wonders for me was that there was somebody who was rooting for me, who was tracking my progress, who was helping me whenever I lost hope in myself. And so this was a friend of mine whom I contacted very like in the beginning of my journey, and she gave me the hope. She was the one who really propelled me towards this journey, because she was also a mom and she had also weight issues. She had gained a lot of weight, and then how she lost her weight. But what she did for me is indescribable. Like the faith that somebody puts in you, and you just don't want to lose that faith. So many times I was exercising at 11:30 in the night. I remember once it was her birthday, and I was just not ready to exercise. Like I was so tired, but I thought this is the best gift that I can give to my coach slash friend. And hence I picked up my gear at 11:35 and I brought her birthday in exercising. So that was very important. And then the support of my husband, like because during the lockdown, my daughter was with me, and it was again like handling housework and then being with her all the time. I used to really get tired by the night, and it was very difficult. It was getting very difficult to exercise. So then he stepped up, and during the day when I was exercising, he would make sure that he takes care of her. And so it's very important to find people around who are there to help you and who are there to motivate you when your motivation lacks. So I think I've shared everything about my weight loss journey. I would love to receive your comments. I would love to receive your journey, to know more about your journey, because like fitness is a constant journey, and you can never give up on it. That is what I have learned. So I would love to learn more from you.